Good morning and welcome to the Retired Guy's Garage. I'm Jeff Richter. So had to have a little surgery last week, so that's going to kind of curtail what I can do around the garage. Unfortunately, so the doc says. I thought I'd be down for a week or so, but as it turns out, the doc says I got to be down for about 6 weeks. So with that being said, we are going to tackle some smaller projects we have around the garage here. Number one, got to put some new work lights on the car hauler. Remember when I did the original video, if y'all remember, on the car hauler, one of the work lights I put on, about half of the LEDs are out. So met a nice gentleman not too far from the house here and picked up a real nice set of used work lights for it. So we're going to put those on. So that's well within what I can do. And then, let's face it, it's April. So, lawn care season is here. And so two of the other projects I've got to do, I've got a mower that needs to be fixed. That's going to need a new carburetor and a tune-up. Nice Toro GTS, which apparently GTS does not last forever. That guaranteed to start option, that does not last forever. So we're gonna go ahead and get that tuned up, get a new carburetor on that, hopefully get that working well, so we can get some grass cutting done. And I've got the zero turn for the majority of the lawn, but of course I still need the hand mower for the smaller stuff. And also, according to Carla, need to get a weed eater going. So I've got a nice HomeLite gas weed eater. Of course, I haven't used it in a couple of years. Well, at least a year or so, I guess now. But of course, why? You'd think I'd know better after all these years, but I left gas in it, and the gas now smells like turpentine, and yeah, it won't start. So we have a tune-up kit for that as well. So we're going to be changing out the carburetor on that, new spark plug, gas lines, air filter, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So without any further ado, let's get started on some of these smaller projects we got going on, and hopefully Trans Am clearly hasn't gone anywhere, still sitting back there, but I've actually got a couple things I might be able to do to that too. Maybe get another part 2 of that video up here on that, doing some of the lighter stuff short of pulling out that frame, because that's going to be a little bit more than I can than the doc says I can do. But without any further ado, let's get started on these. Let's get started on these smaller projects. Stick with me. Thanks for watching. And one of the things I forgot to mention earlier is that, as you can see, got some Retired Guys Garage merchandise started. Got T-shirts available. Have license plate, license plates available, Retired Guys Garage. So if anybody's interested in any of those items, T-shirts of course, anybody's interested in any merchandise, shoot me an email, trgg2024@gmail.com, or just leave a comment down below and I'll reply to it, of course. Not going to be, unfortunately, the work shirts. I'm a huge fan of Goodwill, and I found these Dickies work shirts are a little bit big on me, but heck, I think I paid, $6 a piece for them. So can't really beat a Dickies work shirt for working around the shop and work. And they lent themselves well. The black, I've got picked up 2 black ones and a gray one. So they lent themselves well to the white lettering, shows up real well. But if anybody's interested in some merchandise, be happy to help you out with that. Like I said, I got T-shirts available. I got license plates available, shirts available. So yeah, let me know if you need anything. Like I said, either leave a comment or by all means shoot me an email. Again, the email address is trgg2024@gmail.com. Thanks again. Stay with me. Like I said, got a couple small projects to get taken care of, so we're going to take care of those between over the next couple of days anyhow. So the first one we're going to tackle is we're going to do a rebuild. We'll go with that on the weed eater. So listen, what we got here is we've got a kit off Amazon. course, I'll drop the link to it down below just so you know what it is. This is a HomeLite 26cc, I believe, weed eater, if I'm not mistaken. Certainly not the newest model by any stretch of the imagination, but hey, hopefully it'll work when I get done doing this, and I'll have something to trim the grass with, and that'll make Carla happy. So hey, win-win, right? But anyway, so I've already gone ahead and taken the main fuel feed line out, as well as the old fuel filter. I've already gone ahead and taken those parts out, and I've drained the gas out of it because, let's face it, like an idiot, I left the gas in there, and it smelled like a science project instead of gas. So, which you wouldn't think I would have to do that because, of course, let's face it, I've got a bottle of Stable in the cabinet that I could throw in there. But yeah, anyhow. So anyway, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get the carburetor off. What comes in the kit? A couple of fuel filters. I don't know why. Gaskets, new spark plug, and some new fuel line. So we'll go ahead and get all that replaced. Hopefully there's a new carburetor and a carburetor adjusting tool. And this. I have no idea what this is. Hopefully I'll figure it out as time goes on. Probably not. Anyway, so let's I'll go ahead and get started and get this carburetor off. Looks like there's just a couple of small screws right here. And of course I grabbed a Phillips head, and it's not a Phillips head naturally. It is a Torx bit. So give me just a second, I'll go get the right bit and we'll get this off. Alright, so it is a T20 Torx that holds these two screws in here. And then the only other thing we'll have to take off is we'll have to take off this throttle cable. You can see how that moves the throttle up and down. You probably can't see that, but trust me when I tell you it does. So go ahead and pop these two screws out of here. Possibly. Yeah. All right. So, excuse me. This is the air filter housing. I've got a couple of. Seems like they almost sent me enough to do, with the exception of the spark plug. Seems like they sent me enough to do 2 tune-ups on this thing. So, a couple of air filters. They look about the same size. Yeah. A couple of new primer bulbs. And like I said, a couple of, actually 2 new fuel filters that'll drop in the tank. I'll show you how that works here in just a second. So, yeah, there it is. That's it. That's all there is to it. Seems pretty, it was pretty straightforward. Like I said, just the 2 screws. Well, go ahead and clean this up a little bit. And that is the old carburetor. Go ahead and match these up. Does look like there's maybe some slight differences, but I think it'll work. They look pretty close. Hopefully the screw bore is the same, but we'll find that out in just a second. Go ahead and match up the gasket. So the only difference in these 2 gaskets is the size of the diameter of the inside hole on each. So looks like the smaller gasket's going to go on the inside, and more than likely we'll put this on the outside of the carburetor to seal the air cleaner housing back to the carburetor. Just going to put the 2 carburetor screws back through these long screws. Go ahead and make sure you hook up your throttle cable before you get too far into this. Okay, want to make sure these are good and snug. Don't want any vacuum leaks. Um, this thing works just like a carburetor in a car does. If somebody are sitting there going, carburetor, what is a carburetor? Yeah. So back when, before they had, all this fancy fuel injection stuff, we used to have something called carburetors on cars. Hard to believe, I know, but it's true. I wouldn't lie to you. So, and this is the air filter. This is the air filter foam for the air filter, so that'll just go in there. We'll have to trim that up a little bit to fit in there. This is your choke. Throttle works. And as you can see, once you pull on the throttle cable, it pops the choke off automatically for you. So, all right, now we're going to need to get some new fuel lines on there because these are pretty bad. So I'll just go ahead and measure. I'll give you two different sizes here. I'm not sure. It looks like it's going to be the bigger one. Yeah, sure is. Yeah, a little bit larger. They give you a larger and a smaller diameter fuel line. So basically, these things just these fuel lines just pop right in through the side of the gas tank, the fuel tank here. Well, maybe it is a smaller one. Now that I'm looking at it, let's have a look and see what we got. Well, that seems too small. Unfortunately, we may end up reusing the old ones. Well, let me fool with this a little bit, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. We'll get this figured out. All right, so it did take a little bit of finessing and finagling, but so basically what happened was I just went ahead and kind of with my fingernail kind of pushed in on the hose as I was pushing down on it to make it, excuse me, my goodness, to make it fit nice and snug in that hole. The smaller hose would have wobbled all around in there. It would have been leaking gas like it was going out of style, so we didn't want that, of course. And I've gone ahead and put the fuel filter on. So basically, it looks like this one's got a smaller inlet. This one's got a bigger inlet. This one's for the smaller size hose, which is what the difference is. But we got them both in. So I'm just going to pull this back a little bit. Drop that fuel filter down in there. All right. I made sure I went ahead and got that fuel filter all the way down in the bottom. And excuse me. And I did go ahead and you can see I kept put a little bit of a loop in the fuel hoses. I'm going to do the same with this one here, same with the main fuel supply line as well, just to keep it out of the way of any moving parts here for the choke or what have you. So want to make sure we keep it out of the way of all that stuff. So let's get a measurement on this real quick. Looks like about right there will do. And then you just slide it up on your fuel line, your fuel inlet on the carburetor. And that is that for that. Next thing we're going to do, go ahead and flip this over. And I'm going to go grab a spark plug wrench, spark plug socket, as soon as I find this spark plug. Where'd it go? There it is, right up on top. Any closer? Would have jumped out and bit me in the head. Well, they don't want that to come off, I guess. Dang, that thing is on there, I'm not gonna lie. There we go. All right, let me go grab a socket for this right quick, and I'll be right back. We'll finish this up. All right, gotten that spark plug loose. Did that off camera, I mean, it doesn't look awful. Of course, I have no idea. I've had this thing a few years at least, and I've never changed the plug on it. So, but it doesn't look too bad. And new one, properly gapped, of course. Not really. That's what it came with out of the box. So, brand new ratchet. I splurged. I was down at Harbor Freight the other day, and I said, man, I could really use a new ratchet. All right, snug that up. So I splurged and bought myself a new ratchet. Crazy, I know. All right. And we are done. So, I don't know, what'd that take me? 20 minutes, approximately, with basic hand tools. Whoa! Gotta love carpenter bees here in Georgia. So I'm gonna get this one of these filters trimmed up here. Let's see, maybe I can just kind of make it fit. Yeah, that'll work. Put the cover back on. Choke works. Throttle still works. Primer bulb. Everything looks good. Now, in my infinite wisdom, I neglected to get some gas for this. So, obviously, 2 cycles, so you got to mix oil and gas. Actually, I kind of got ahead of myself. I'm going to pop this back off again because probably going to have to make some carburetor adjustments once I get it running. But I'm going to head over to the gas station here right quick and grab me some gas, mix some oil in it, and I believe it's 50 to 1 if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to have to look at that again because I'm not really sure. Anyway, yeah, I'll figure that out. It's written on here somewhere. Actually, I think it's written on the gas tank if I remember correctly. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, 50 to 1. So we'll get some 2 cycle oil in there and get it mixed up, and get this thing fired up and start trimming some grass. How's that sound? Anybody that wants to come on over and trim the grass for me, I'd really appreciate it. Just kidding. Anyway, stick with me. Let me go get some gas, and I'll come right back, get some gas in this thing, and we'll get it fired up and finish up. Stay with me. Alrighty, welcome back. Hey, we've got some fresh fuel in this thing. Some fresh 50 to 1 mixed oil and gas fuel in this bad boy. And I went ahead, actually, I'm not going to BS you. I went ahead and fired this thing up before I turned on the camera, just so I didn't look stupid if it didn't start. But as luck would have, let's say as skill would have it, she fired right up. And for the first time, and I can't tell you how long, I've actually had to use the stop switch to shut it off. Normally, I'd let my finger off the trigger and the thing would just die on its own. So Yeah. So hey, now we got a nice gas trimmer back in operation, and for very little money. And I mean, really, what did this take me? 40 minutes or so to put on a carburetor, install that fuel filter, new spark plug. I mean, you know, and I adjusted up the idle a little bit. The idle was a little bit too low on it, so adjusted up the idle on it a little bit, and the idle screw is right here on this side of the up on the top side of the carburetor. There's a couple other adjustments down there. I'm thinking for high speed, full throttle, max RPMs, and that kind of stuff, but it seems to be running just fine. And I'm a firm believer in, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, especially with this stuff. Yeah, so this worked out really well. This kit, all in, was an Amazon purchase. I think I paid, I don't know, it was under $20. Let's put it that way. I think it was, if I'm remembering correctly, I bought one for this and one for the next project, which is the Toro GTS recycler mower I got in the backyard that I'm gonna get working on tomorrow. But I think this kit was about $17 or $18. Came with the new fuel line, new fuel filters, air filter, new carburetor, new spark plug. So I mean, how can you beat that? And 40 minutes worth of your time, and essentially, I did this with two tools. A Torx bit screwdriver and a pair of side cutters to cut the fuel lines to the proper length. Oh, and a flat bladed screwdriver to adjust the idle up a little bit on it. So yeah, and a pair of pliers. But yeah, so this was a pretty quick project. Something certainly I would encourage you to try and do it. Like I said, I mean, this doesn't take this doesn't take a fully certified ASE mechanic to fix this thing, and and I got it done in about 40 minutes. And rather than go spend I don't know, can you even get gas ones anymore? Do they even make them? I'm sure they do, but I mean, to go out and spend another $150 on another one of these, I mean, this wasn't a cheap one to begin with. I mean, this is a pretty good quality one. So for $17 or $18 I spent on the kit, on the rebuild kit, the tune-up kit they call it, you just can't beat it. So yep, real happy, thrilled, and I am going to be doing some yard work this weekend. I can already tell. So appreciate y'all watching. Thank you so very much for watching and tuning into these videos. I hope you like what I'm putting out, and if you do, absolutely, by all means, make sure you hit that like button. I would really appreciate that. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll take them good, bad, or indifferent. Had a semi-negative comment on one of my videos a couple weeks ago. A gentleman said I talk too much. Could very well be. I'll try to keep that. I'll try to keep the intros down to a minimum and focus more on the actual repairs from now on. So, but anyway. So, and by all means, if you're really enjoying the videos, I don't know, I've got probably, 10, 11, 12 of them out right now. And if you're enjoying the content, if you'd hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell and get notifications when the new videos come out, that'd help me out a lot. Once again, and before I forget, because I know y'all are wondering, where can I get some of that good-looking retired guy's garage outerwear? Well, shoot me an email, trgg2024@gmail.com, and I'll get you hooked up. I got front license plate frames. I've got T-shirts, both kids and adult sizes, and I've got what else have I got? I've got some hoodies, some pullovers, zipper pullovers, I think, a couple of those. And I've actually got one golf shirt style button-up shirt left, I think. Yeah, if you're interested, by all means, like I said, hit me up at trgg2024@gmail.com. I'll be happy to get you hooked up. Prices are cheap. I'm making these in-house. These aren't being outsourced at all. I've got all the stuff right in the office.
decided to go that route instead of paying somebody else all that money to make these things for us. So yeah, this one's really cool. This is one of my work shirts. Unfortunately, I don't have any like this. I haven't been able to find anybody that's been able to that I've been able to source for these at a reasonable cost yet. And like I said in the intro video for this, these are just used Dickies work shirts from Goodwill. I love me some Goodwill, man. I think I paid, I don't know, $5 or $6 a piece for these shirts and did the lettering on them. I kind of went old school with the script and my name, probably a little bit overboard. Got the logo there, and also got a real nice logo on the back, Retired Guys Garage, and the script lettering. So yeah, this is actually one of Carla's favorite designs, and she really likes this one, and I do too. The first one just had Retired Guys Garage up above the garage, up and above and below the garage, but really like this one as well. So like I said, if you're interested in any merchandise, absolutely reach out. I'll get you hooked up, and I'll get you a good price as well. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it so very much, and y'all take care, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.